Really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their busy schedules to attend the call here. Um, the city of Dickinson has the 2026 various transportation projects RFP. And there's 4 individual projects on that list as per the RFP that's posted on our website. Sorry for the little bit of confusion on the original posting. The there's some issues internally that we worked through, but a couple of the projects didn't show up in that original one. There was an old version that was grabbed and posted on the website. So we got that fixed. So for some reason, if you're looking at a version that only has 2 projects described in there, take a look at the website. The latest version got updated a couple days ago. With that being said, I'll just run through. So we have 2 projects, 2026-10 Empire Road from 23rd Avenue West to 8th Avenue West. That is a mill and overlay, includes some lightings, ADA compliance stuff, things like that. And then Fairway Street from State Avenue to 13th Avenue West. It's a mill and overlay. Lighting is already in place. Both of those are on, I think, STIP 2029, if I recall correctly. So we do have those. We had submitted those for funding. We have that in place, and just trying to get that done and get those projects bid ready as soon as possible. Move that timeline up if at all possible. Various intersection analysis 2026-14. This was identified in our transportation master plan that we just concluded in recent months as one of the biggest priorities. The route along State Avenue from Fairway up to 21st Street West. There's a number of intersections along that route that we have some challenges with. Warrant studies are needed, and that's all spelled out. And then the various roadway structure repair. So we have a number of individual box culverts or bridge structures throughout the city where different repairs are required. Thankfully, nothing is in too significant of levels of damage or anything, or nothing's highlighted as extreme concern, or no, there's not like a load reduction on any of the structures or anything like that. There's just structures that have ultimately aged and need some TLC. So running down the list, you can go ahead and read for the individual project descriptions and some of those kind of things. We did try to define clearly what the expectations are, similar to what we've done on other projects, in particular for our mill and overlays. Looking at, we'll be putting out a geotech RFP, hopefully in February of 2026. And ultimately would like to get the soil borings and pavement cores identified for these mill and overlay projects and start moving ahead on that. And then going down intersection analysis, if you want to read through the details there, our transportation master plan, the updated one that recently got adopted. If you wanted a copy of that, certainly make that request to Sylvia Miller, and she can make that available, as well as there was the traffic impact study done for the Dickinson High School expansion. And that traffic impact study can also be made available. That does the intersection of Empire and State Avenue was identified in that traffic impact study. And then the list of individual road structures for project number 4, that's listed down here. And then the timeline as far as submittals and when we're going to award, and all of those kind of things, that's all listed. Submittal requirements, if you have any questions on that, please let us know. Otherwise, do have the project vicinity maps, did put in the table block by block analysis of the pavement segments, the PCI data, things like that. So hopefully that is helpful. And the intersection route there, and then ultimately then the structures, a map of the structures to go with the list that was above. So with that being said, I guess I'll open it up. Any questions anybody had to what they read in the proposal, or generally any other questions that you may have on the RFP?
This is Tim Aarons with Akron SLA. So I'll ask a question. It mentioned you guys were going to televise the storm and sanitary sewer. Do you guys have a time frame on that, when that would be handed over? Or when you would know if there were repairs that would be needed?
Great question. I know Jake from Public Works is on. I don't have an exact schedule yet that I'm aware of, but Jake, I don't know if you have a rough estimate on when that might be able to be completed.
I'm sorry, I was grabbing a glass of water here at that exact moment. Can I get the question one more time?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I was curious when you guys are going to televise the storm and sanitary sewer along a couple of those routes there, and be able to identify if there were some needed improvements, and when that would be handed over, or would the consultant be notified?
Yeah, so for these 26 projects, my understanding is that is either mostly or completely done already at this time. Anything that's left to do, I would assume, will certainly be finished up by the end of the calendar year here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that question, Tim. Great question. Anybody else?
Hey Josh, this is Brandy Presnell with Outer Edge.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
So you're talking about the visual inspections for the sanitary sewer and the stormwater manholes with the video and whatnot. If we do see that there needs to be improvements, or do we assume it's just going to be the same in kind, or are there models? I believe the city has a water model and then sewer models that are used, that we would have access to that information. And then if we do need to make any changes, would that need to be part of our proposal, or how would that work?
No, right now the assumption is that everything is in good condition. We're just verifying as a worst case scenario, because we have been bid on this before. And so anything that would come out of it would be ultimately a contract amendment for any additional scope of work. And we just want to make sure everybody's aware that TV data will be provided. We would like some assist just to review that data, but anything above and beyond that, any repairs, any replacements, anything like that, that would be logically and reasonably a contract amendment.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you.
I guess I'll throw another one out if so with the two mill and overlays, it looks like federal highway funds are going to be involved. Are those going to be administered by NDOT and their local government division?
Yeah, the DOT will be involved, but we're directly funding the engineering and getting them to the bid ready status. So there'll still be involvement from the DOT, maybe on a slightly lighter level.
Okay, just not, we don't have to do it to their specifications. We still follow yours, but they just make sure we're dotting I's, crossing T's to make sure the eligibility with the federal funding for construction is still good, correct?
Still following DOT specifications, but, they're, still have to follow the progress reporting requirements, all those kind of things. I need to request the PCN numbers and, those kind of things, but ultimately that's all maturing. Similar to a DOT project, we're just ahead of schedule on it, and that's the way I want to keep it, get the funding availability as soon as possible, with making the projects bid ready, so.
So then you'll also be following the timelines. You know how the DOT sets those up for what bid dates, what month, and you have to have like plans and the DCEs submitted for review at certain times. Is that going to be following that, these projects following that, or is that we're going to have our own schedule with the city?
We'll generally have our own schedule with the city.
Okay.
So.
Hey Josh, this is Jordan with Stantec. Couple quick question on projects 1 and 2, the mill and overlay projects. With there being some sidewalk and curb replacement, ADA ramps and stuff in the scope, is there any need for creating a special improvement district similar to what you had scoped in the water main replacement project from last month?
No, great question. No special improvement districts are included in our classified roadways.
Okay. Thank
That's
you.
just been a standard practice for the city, not written anywhere, of course.
I guess one other quick question while I'm unmuted. As far as getting temporary easements, I think on the water main project from last month, you had stated in that RFP that the city would take care of putting together all of those easements, just with potentially some drafting assistance from your consultant. Is that still the case for this project? If easements are needed, is it something that will be handled by the city? I think I saw something in there on 10.
Yeah, I think in this case, meeting the DOT criteria for any of the ped ramps, that would be a slightly different situation than what we would do on a water main replacement project where we're doing those lead line replacements. So it would have to meet the criteria, and any of the grading outside of our right of way, we would do the payment similar to the DOT, the way that they do that. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey Josh, to follow up with that, do you guys utilize the DOT's curb ramp agreements? Something
That's
you guys have
correct.
followed? Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none. The only other thing I was going to make mention of that I don't think I said before, but the project number 4, the roadway structures, we did have the inspections completed on all of these structures in 2025. So we do have all of those documents available. as well as we have our 2023 inspection records also. So if you are interested in those, feel free to make that request to Sylvia Miller, and she can send that all over. That way you can see just the full gamut, both sets of inspection records from the last couple of years, and if there's any kind of relatable rate of degradation to certain concrete or whatever else, you can ultimately see that to a certain extent over the 2-year period. Any other questions anybody has?
So I got one last comment. I think it notes the tentative interviews would be Monday, November 10th. Is that December 10th?
Good catch. Yes, December 10th. That would make a lot more sense.
Okay, thank you.
Josh, are you planning to interview everyone that meets the required qualifications?
Ultimately depends on not only the number of individual submittals for the projects, but also how close the scores are is kind of how we've done that before. So, you know, if we get one submittal for the project, we will likely not go to interview, for example. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, thank you. Any other questions anybody might have? All right, well, hearing no additional questions, again, really appreciate everybody logging on and attending this meeting. And as I said before, we are recording this, and so we will move the recording onto our website, the same location where the PDF document resides for this RFP. So if you want to go back, watch that, or have any other questions beyond that, we'll send it out to this group that attended this meeting. So again, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to your submittals, and have a great rest of your week.
You too, Josh. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.